Right, welcome back to the oven. We've got the little Mark 1 Escort. This is the white and blue one that we've got all prepped up. If you remember, it had some damage all over the car, so we've sorted all that out. So we're about to paint it white. Generally, as you know, we'd do this in direct gloss and then lacquer over the top of it. But this car had quite a lot of repairs done by someone else, don't know who, but we've had a lot of reactions going on with the old paint that someone's put on the car. And this car was never about stripping all the paint off, it was just to repaint it and get it back to looking how it should look. So what we're going to be doing is, because of all those reactions, we've managed to get them all sealed up now with some epoxy and stuff, but we're going to be painting this in our Wave 2.0 waterborne base coat, because then we're definitely not going to get any problems, you know, with any reactions. Then we're going to put some lacquer on it. We'll flat that all down during the week. It's actually Saturday morning, about 5:30 in the morning. We were going to try and paint the car yesterday, but as ever, sort of run out of time. These always take a bit longer than you think they're going to. So I've come in this morning to get this painted today, just to get us ahead, because obviously there's a bank holiday weekend as well. So yeah, so we'll get this all painted, lacquered. We'll flat the whole thing down with some 1200 wet and dry, probably block it all down. Then we'll hang the doors back on the car so we can line it all out for the pinstripes. Once all the striping's done, we'll take the doors off, finish masking, put the blue on for the stripes, and then we'll demask that and lacquer the whole car. So we've got a couple of new guns to use for this job. So we're trying out the LS Iowata. This is their base coat gun. So we're going to be putting our Wave on with this gun, and then we're going to lacquer it with the new version of the WS400. So yeah, Series 2. So quite looking forward to that. So I'm going to set the camera up over in the corner. There's no one here to record me this morning. I'm the only idiot that will get out of bed at 4:30 to come and paint a car. So we'll set the camera up and see how we get on. Base coat all down, a couple of coats of this to get it covered. Like I say, this is in our waterborne base coat, so we've had no reactions or anything, so all looking nice and clean and straight. We're obviously not painting the roof, so we sort of like blended the colour here, and the first coat of clear will sort of blend here, and then obviously when we come to putting the colour on and re-lacquering it, you know, we'll do a little blend up in this corner where the gutter finishes. But all nice and clean and bright. So again, I'll set the camera up and get some clear coat on it, and then just give you a little look round when we're all done. Right, so the Escort's all painted now and it's diamond white. So we're painting this in clear over base, waterborne base coat and some clear coat. We flattened it all down with 1200 so we can start getting masked out for the stripes. As you can see, we've got all the lines on. This is a 6mm fine line that we're using, a 3M1, because it's just real good quality and it bends round the corners much better. If you look up here, you know, we've got some really tight bends going on down here, and the 3M tape is about the best to be able to bend that round the corners. So we've had the door on the car since we painted it, so all the lines line up right down the side of the car through the swage lines. Get the lines all on, then obviously we take the doors off. Now we'll get the other side masked up, the whole car masked up. So what we'll actually do is we'll remask all the masking on the car, then we'll mask out for the stripes. We'll get it in the oven, we'll put the blue on it, then demask all the masking that's down the sides of the car. All this will be fresh masking, then we're just going to lacquer the whole car. So the stripes will be like seamless underneath the clear coat. So it's quite a task, and it does your eyes in a bit eventually looking at all the lines. But the way we get this even gap, what we do is we put this first outer blue line on here, then we put another one right next to it in the middle, and then another one on the edge. So then we peel the centre stripe out, and that gives us our really nice equal, even pinstripe through the middle. So yeah, like I say, we'll put a link in the description from the first time we painted this car about 3 years ago, and there's a whole video showing you the complete process. But like I say, so next couple of days we'll get it masked up in the oven, and we'll record some of that footage, putting the colour on and then doing the clear coat. So we'll see you when it's back in the oven. Right, so as you can see, we've got the car, all the poly mask on it, ready to put the gentian blue on. What we do, we use a little bit of solvent panel white on a cloth and just wipe round the fine line tape, because you always get a really tiny little bit of glue residue around the edge of the tape. So that's why we use a little bit of solvent panel white to get rid of that glue. Then we've used some waterborne degreaser and gone over all the exposed areas. As you can see, it's ready to put the stripe on. Same down this side, all ready. So then we'll get a couple of coats of this on, make sure it's fully covered, and then the really tedious, time-consuming bit is demasking all the stripes. You know, making sure we've got no leaks of the blue anywhere on the white, and if we have, we'll have to correct them, but fingers crossed we won't have any of them. You know, on some of these tight corners, you sometimes just get a little tiny crease in the corner of the tape. So I can't see any of them at the moment, so fingers crossed. That's all good, because obviously if this goes wrong, it's sort of catastrophic. So, you know, really take our time, just 100% make sure it's going to be good. So like I say, we're all ready. We're going to get some of our waterborne base coat on now, and yeah, just make it look pretty, let's hope.
Yeah, why do you not want me to?
Oh, yeah. I won't have any holes in my side.
Just rub it in, yeah, go on. It's fine. I can take a beating. It'll be fine. And this is while you after it as well, so you can wipe it out.
Let's do a bit of a long. Okay, so that's all the clear coat on. It's come out really nice, really happy with it. So stressful when you're doing these lines, but yeah, I'll shut up and just give you a look round it. Right guys, thanks for watching this video. You know, it's so satisfying when you do a job like this and it turns out really nice. You just really got to have a passion for it, and you know, I just love my job to bits. When you can create stuff like this, it's just, you know, just brilliant. Gets you out of bed every day. So look, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.